In this video, we're going to be making this 3D carousel. It's kind of like a slider as well. All the images, they are interactive, so they can do lightbox, they can do links, all that sort of stuff. As we go through, you'll see the background fade there as well. So it's a nice, I don't really know what to call this really, like an advanced slider. But it's not really a slider, it's kind of a carousel. So either way, so we are going to be building out this in this video. Now, for the people who just want to download it, there's going to be a link in the description that's going to take you to this page on my website, and you can go and download it. It's going to be a zip file, and it's going to have the template inside. You just have to open up the library window, and over here in import, you just take that JSON file and you drop it in and you're good to go. Now, for everyone else who wants to build this, for you, there's going to be a link to the reference page, and that is going to take you to this page right here. So there's a CSS class names as well as button IDs. So we are going to need button IDs. I just put it in the same window here because we don't really copy paste this entire thing anyways. Then here's going to be the little codes that we are going to put into our scene. So let's get started with building this whole thing right here. Now, starting this off, as always, we start off with our main container. So it doesn't really matter. We'll just change the settings as we go along. And then underneath this, I'm just going to duplicate it because, again, I always put the code at the bottom. So for the settings of this last container, very easy. The gaps are 0 and advanced padding is 0. Okay. Now I'm going to change the names here so that I know what I'm doing when I come back to this page. So this container over here, all I'm going to say is the code container. And then the top one, I'm going to change this to the scene container because we're setting up an entire scene. Now the settings of the scene, very easy. I am going to keep it boxed, and the min height, I'm going to change it to VH and put it to 100. Then direction is going to be horizontal and gap 0. Now, something that's a bit unusual, but we have to do it over here, is if we go to style, we're going to go to background overlay. We want a gradient. Now, the top here, I'm just going to set it to black, and the bottom, I'm going to set to white. Then the opacity of this is going to be a 0.95, just like that. Then the setting above at the angle, I'm just going to set this to 0. If we go down to blend mode, here we're going to change it from normal to multiply. So what this does is there's the background image, and it just does this sort of effect over here where it just darkens it. So you can actually always see the stuff no matter what the image is. Now, if we go to advanced, we're going to need a class name. So in that reference page, we are going to go and get the first class name right over there, say copy, and we paste it in. Now, inside this, we're going to add 2 containers. We're going to have the text over here and the button, and then the actual gallery. So, plus sign, container, and put it in, and then we'll just duplicate it. So the name of this first one, I'm just going to say that this is the content container, and then the second one is the gallery scene. Then for the content container, for the settings here, it's just going to be 100%. Make sure that it's vertical. Center justify everything, and that's good to go there. Now the settings of the scene container, it's going to be full width 100%, middle justify, and this one under advanced, you're going to need a class name. So the second one over here that says the parent, we copy that and we paste that in right there. Now in the content container, I'm just going to add some stuff here. So I'm going to add a heading, I'm going to add the text editor, and I'm going to add a button. For the heading, I'm going to put it to the right. Text, I'm also going to put it to the right. And the button, I'm going to put it to the right so that it's right aligned like that. Then the text over here of the heading, you can stylize it any way you want, but I am going to set it to white. And the text as well, I'm also going to set this to white. And then the button, I'm going to make a white type of design. So typography, I'll just put it maybe at a 16. I'm going to put it to uppercase. Then the text color, it's going to be white. The background is transparent. Border with a 2 pixel all around, and then round it out. Then in the hover, I'm going to make the text black, background color white, border stays white. So we got that going on. Now let's get into the good stuff. Now inside this gallery scene, we are going to add 2 containers. So the first one, put it in and duplicate. So this first one, I'm going to rename this to the actual gallery. And then the second one is for the buttons. So I'm going to change this to button container, just like that. Now for the settings of this gallery container, I am going to say it's full width at 100, and the min height here, I'm going to set it to 215. It's to control the perspective. I've done this in a video before with the auto carousel. This perspective over here, that's what the min height is for. So if you drop down the min height, it changes the perspective to top completely level, and then the bottom has the perspective. If you raise it up, then the top will have the perspective and the bottom will start being flat. So 215 is a good middle ground for this. Then the direction here is vertical, and I'll just center align that stuff. Now in advanced, we're going to have a class name. So this gallery one over here, we copy it over and we paste it in there. Now inside this, we're going to have images. So we grab the image widget, we put it in, and you can choose whatever images you want for this. I'm going to do pretty much the same as the other tutorial. I had these type of images, but it's good to go there really, it doesn't matter. So there's my image. Then under style, I'm going to change width to pixels to control its size. It's 200 and 200, so it's nice and square. And then this here, I'm just going to set to cover for object fit. Then the border radius here, like I did in the other video for the auto, is going to be 10, so it has a nice little radius going on. Now, if you want this to have like a lightbox or whatever the case is, you can go and change the link to say media file or custom URL. It's completely up to you. I'll just put it as a default lightbox over there. So now I'm going to duplicate this 6 times. Don't go too crazy with how many pictures you want to put in. There's a limit to this code and the effect, okay? Because then things start getting a bit messy and then you're going to have to readjust the code. So I'm going to duplicate this 6 times. That's 3, then duplicate it again. That's 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to change these images here. So the second one, I'm going to go change it for the second image. Third one, change it over to the third. Fourth, put it in there. Fifth one, get the lady that's over there, put it in. And then 6. Okay, all 6 images are in. Now we are going to concentrate on the button container. Now this one, we're going to have direction horizontal, and we are going to put space around. Now this, you can adjust the spacing in that to fit you better. If you're having a problem with the buttons not being clickable for some reason, the gallery and the button container is your best bet to fix that. So for the gallery, you would just make it a little bit less in the width, and then just make sure that it's aligned out south center. So just in case that this container overlaps for whatever reason on your buttons, it's just something good to remember. But here I'm going to keep it how it was. Then inside this button container, I'm going to go and get 2 buttons. But let me just go and get one and then stylize it and duplicate. So this one over here, I'm going to take out the text and I'm going to choose an arrow. So I'm going to say arrow, and I will choose this one here that's going to the left. Then if I go style, position can be center, the text color can be white. We can make this as big as we want really. I'm just going to go with 16, and then the background color, I'm going to make this transparent. The border radius, the border I'm going to say solid, the border radius I'm going to say 2, and the border radius, make it something crazy like 100. And then make sure that stays white. Then underneath the padding here, I'm going to delink. Then it's going to be 14, 15, 14, 15. So it's got that kind of round effect going on there. Just, edit it as you need to make it as perfect as you want. Now, if we go over to advanced, we need to give an ID here. So in the reference page, this first ID here, this previous button, we copy it and we put it into ID, not classes, okay? And we are good there. So now all we have to do is duplicate this. So if we duplicate it, we are going to change the settings over here. So Obviously, the icon has to change, so we say arrow and we choose the opposite direction. Now, if we go over to advanced, we have to give this the ID. So we go over and we copy this ID here and we paste it. Okay, now let's start adding the code to this gallery. So if we go to the scene container under advanced, we go to custom CSS, and in the reference page, this scene container code, we copy it and we paste it here. Then the gallery scene container, same thing, advanced, custom CSS, we go down to the gallery scene one, copy it over and paste. Then on the gallery container, advanced, custom CSS, this is the gallery container code, we copy that and we paste. Now, if we go to the code container, we have to have the HTML widget. So let's go and get that here. And we drag it across right into this little container here. And we're going to put some code here. So in the reference page, we come down, copy this over and paste. And now you have a functioning 3D carousel that's changing the background over here. Now, like I said before, if you want to change the sizing of that, just remember the image controls the size that's over here. So it's 200, so you can make it smaller, bigger. And the perspective is in the gallery. So under layout, here's the 215. You can change the perspective how you want and then just adjust the gallery container in the margins as you need. So this was at 215. Now, the only thing we need to do really is just readjust this whole container of the gallery in mobile. So if you go to mobile, you can see there's a lot of space here. So what we're going to do is go to advanced, delink it, and the top margin, a -300 is fine there. And we are good to go. Now, another thing that we can do over here is these buttons look a little bit small. So if we go to button container, we can change here in mobile, we can do space between just to push it out a little bit. And on the buttons itself, if we go over to style and typography, we can say that this is a 30. So we can actually bump up the sizing there. Then same thing for the other button, go to style, typography, 30. Because what's happening is I'm scaling down the whole carousel so it fits here within this window, but everything gets affected with the scaling. And if you want to move this a bit down, this button container under advanced, if you delink it, you can just bump up the top margin and just readjust everything to the way that you'd really like it. But that is that for that container. Now remember, all lightboxes are working. Very nice and easy. I've simplified everything for you. It was literally copy and paste. And I hope you enjoy it.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing as well. That stuff makes a big difference to a small channel like mine. If you have any suggestions or anything, then just put a comment down below. Let me see what I can do. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.